Hey y'all, in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of my lip glosses and telling you about them, which is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't really used to be a gloss wearer. I didn't really have any lip glosses. I think I maybe had one or two when I started my YouTube channel, and I didn't wear them very often. I thought that they were goopy. I didn't like layering them. I just didn't really feel the need to have glosses and to wear them. And recently, my tune has changed dramatically, and these days I prefer a gloss in almost every case. But that means that I have this kind of, to me, robust collection of glosses. I mean, this little thing is full of them, but I don't have as many glosses as someone who has like loved them forever and been collecting them forever. And I definitely don't have as many glosses as I have lipsticks. The other reason that this might be interesting for some of you is that there are a couple of glosses in here that I'm currently testing for review, but they're new to me. So there are going to be some surprises, some glosses in here that you haven't seen me talk about before and you haven't seen before on my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah. I love beautiful things. I really enjoy makeup. I love filming this kind of overhead content where we get up close and personal with my makeup. And this is kind of classic. Like, I love to have a comfortable abundance of stuff, which to me, this is kind of a lot of lip gloss. At the same time, however, I'm picky about what I own. I love to love what I own. I try not to keep stuff unless it's performing really well for me because I'm a quality over quantity kind of beauty lover. And if that sounds good to you, I hope you will go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into the meat of this video. Oh my gosh, this is really fun. I think that I might not have realized how much I've actually come to love lip gloss until I saw this beautiful array laid out before me. I looked at it and I got a thrill down in the depths of my very soul. I think I might really love lip gloss at this moment in time. There is one missing though. I thought that these were all my lip glosses, and then I realized when I was unpacking them from the little velvet case that there's one missing. It's the Erin's Faces gloss in Early Girl. Early Glow. I think that the color is called Early Glow. It's too bad because I think that might actually be my favorite gloss. I will link it at the top of the description box, and maybe I'll put a picture of it in right now so you can see. So basically I'm going to be ranking all of my glosses underneath that one, which is my favorite because it's nourishing, it smells and tastes like a strawberry smoothie, it's not sticky, but it really lights up the lips. Like, they really, really sparkle and glow, and it's semi-sheer. It's just perfect in absolutely every way. It also has very clean ingredients, etc., etc. And after that, there are all of these. I tend to take it with me when I leave the house, and I think that it's in some sort of pocket or bag somewhere. And I looked through my bags, but I couldn't find it. There are a lot of great glosses here though. Again, I try not to keep something unless I really do love it. So I love all of these, pretty much all of them. I love each of them, pretty much each of them. Do I not love every one of them? Maybe this will end up being a declutter, but what I'm trying to say is that I have feelings, and mostly fond feelings, about every single one of these glosses. Let's get down to the ranking. Okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go on instinct and I'm going to rank them. The last time I ranked lippies, I did it in order of how much I felt like wearing them at that very moment. And I felt like that was a really good strategy. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to rank these in order of how much I feel like wearing them, starting with the thing that I feel the most like wearing today. Okay, I think that this is it. Ranking is hard. I mean, as with every ranking, I feel like it's subjective even compared to like me on a different day. This is just kind of how I'm feeling today. And I was definitely noticing as I was doing this that the newness of a couple of these glosses, this one, and this one, Their newness kind of had bearing on where they ended up in the ranking. Like some of them I feel might have placed a little bit higher because they're new and I'm feeling kind of jazzed about them. So taking all that into account and realizing that the ranking is kind of just a springboard for reviews, let's proceed and let's go from bottom to top. I think that's what I want to do. Let's go from bottom to top. Here at the bottom is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, and it's in the shade Crystal. I talked about this recently in a video about makeup that I regret buying. It's not at the bottom because of the formula. I'm really impressed by the formula. It's very, it's almost like jelly-like and very slippy, and it has very beautiful presence on the lips. It feels like it adds a nice, plump, slick layer to the lips. I am going to swatch, even though it's kind of tough with glosses. Well, you can see what's going on with that. You can see how thick, and it's like a sheer cream. It's like a sheer jelly-like cream. It definitely has body. You can see it's holding its shape. It's not drippy at all. It's not slidey. It's almost like a whipped set jelly. I think that if the formula were a little bit different and it were like more addictive to me, like if it were asserting itself more, maybe it wouldn't be here at the very bottom. I do like the vanilla smell. I really actually don't think it's the formula. I think the formula is really nice and I really love the packaging. I think for me with this one, it's just the color. This is a color that I really love. That's why I got this one. I love a lip this color. I love a lip product this color. But there's something about the combination of the jelly-like sheerness, like the quality of the formula on the lips with this color, that just makes it hard for me to get it to look right. And I never feel like I can slather this on all over my face and then just look great and feel great. I always feel like I'm fussing with it, like I'm not quite happy with the way that it's sitting. I feel like when I went to review this formula, I got the wrong color. I think that I would probably like a different color of this gloss way better. And after this time that I've had with it, I've finally come to admit that I don't really love it. I never use it. I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this today because I feel like when I do a ranking, I don't know, the ones that end up at the very, very bottom are always kind of on the chopping block. So this one was on the chopping block because it was definitely the bottom and it's been chopped. This is the next to the bottom, the M Cosmetics True Gloss in the shade Moroccan Sunset. And gosh, I'll be hard pressed to chop any of these M Cosmetics True Glosses because they're so pretty. I love the packaging. I really love M Cosmetics. I mean, I just have a soft spot in my heart. No, I'm mixing my metaphors. I have a soft spot for M Cosmetics and I have a special place in my heart for M Cosmetics. I don't want to part with this, but it's not a gloss. It's a lipstick. It is a lipstick. And that reminds me to say that these, I didn't include balms in here. Like these are all just things that are marketed as lip glosses. Like that was my criteria for this video. I'm ranking things that are marketed as lip glosses. This is marketed as a lip gloss, but it's so pigmented. It's more pigmented than things that are marketed as lipsticks. Like I have some lipsticks that are more sheer than this. Like the Bobbi Brown Crushed Lip Color isn't as opaque and pigmented as this. The Glossier Vanillic Lips aren't as opaque and pigmented as this. Even the Glossier Ultra Lips aren't as pigmented as this. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a lipstick, and that's why they're here at the bottom. I think that because they're called glosses, but they are lipsticks to me, they kind of end up not being worn as much because they get overlooked when I'm looking for a gloss because this isn't what I want from a gloss, and they get overlooked when I'm looking for a lipstick because they're called glosses. I don't think I'm going to declutter them. I have these 3 and I really love all of the colors, the undertones and tones in the colors that they create. I just think they're perfect. They're stunning. They look like Linda Evangelista. This one is Faded Clementine. It's the best color ever. So I'm definitely not going to declutter that. And then this is the one that I like the most of the 3 of the True Glosses, Caramel Glaze. In fact, I put something else below it in the ranking because I like it so much. When I do reach for a True Gloss, I tend to reach for this one. It seems too like it's a little bit sheerer than the other 2, maybe a bit easier to wear. In any case, I have mixed feelings about these True Glosses, but my feelings aren't mixed enough to cause me to declutter them. That's just why they're here at the bottom of the ranking. Above Faded Clementine and Moroccan Sunset and below Caramel Glaze is the Persona gloss in the shade Honey. It's at the bottom for the same reason that the Maybelline gloss is at the bottom. Or to be more specific, it's the combination of the brown color with the opacity of the gloss. I just find that with these gooey, shiny glosses when they're only semi-sheer rather than being quite sheer, and they're brown. I want them, and then I find that I can't get it to be quite right on my lips. I'm so pale, and I love to slather a gloss on and really overline with it. And with this, it ends up looking messy the same way that this ends up looking messy. So I'm actually going to go ahead and let this one go today as well. I haven't worn it possibly in over a year. I love the Persona gloss. You'll notice that my other color of Persona gloss is actually first in the ranking, or second if you include the missing one there in Spaces. I'll talk about why that is when I get there. So I'm not besmirching the Persona gloss here. I think it's one of the best gloss formulas on the market. It's just that this shade Honey isn't the shade for me. Next up, we have the Fenty gloss in the shade Fussy. I really love this gloss bomb. I have actually used up an entire tube of it in the shade Fenty Glow, the original one, and I really like this soft pink and Fussy. It's a lovely, juicy, beefy, delicious, nourishing gloss. It's just towards the bottom here because I think that there's like the novelty factor that's worn way off for me because I've panned an entire tube of this. If this were my first tube, it might have shown up like higher in the ranking. It's just, I feel like I've had this gloss forever and I've used it 100 times. And there's just kind of a natural falling off of the passion with a thing like that. It's not fallen off so much that I'm going to declutter it. I still do reach for it quite a bit. And I think that remembering that it's a great gloss and remembering that I have it in my collection because of doing this ranking video, reminding myself of how much I do love gloss, might cause me to wear it more in the coming days. Sometimes that happens. I care for it enough that I feel like I won't be surprised if that happens. But just on this day, assessing these glosses as they are, I don't feel as excited about it as I do about all of the ones that ranked above it. This gloss is also one that I've had for a while and loved for kind of a long time. It's the Revlon Super Lustrous Gloss, and this is in the shade Indulge in It. This is a very, very beautiful gloss formula. This is, I think, my favorite. Well, no, probably at this point, the Flower Beauty is my favorite drugstore gloss formula, but my other color in the Revlon Super Lustrous ranked above it. So maybe I can still say that this Revlon Super Lustrous is my favorite gloss at the drugstore. And see how it's starting to kind of sheer out as it sits? It's like settling on my skin. The swatch is starting to just, I don't know, it's like an oil slick. This gloss feels almost like they could have marketed as a lip oil. And you see how it's really starting to even out and become one with my skin, sort of, even though it's kind of a thick swatch. And these other formulas aren't doing that. Like the True Glosses they're still holding their shape. They have body. The one from Maybelline is also still kind of like jelly-like and whipped on my arm. I guess the Fenty one, as we move closer to this, they're doing a little better job of like melting into my skin. But I feel like of all of them, this one, the one that I just swatched, has the most elegant presence here on my arm. And you can see that even though it's kind of a deep color, you can see my skin color through it. It's starting to sheer out a little bit. That's why I find this wearable when I struggle to wear like this color and this color. There's just something about the way that it blends into the color of my lips. The reason that it ranked lower and way lower than its partner, like the other gloss that I have in the same formula, is because of the dark color. I just don't wear it as much and don't reach for it as much because of it. But when I do, I really love how it looks. It kind of reminds me of a gloss version of Charlotte Tilbury's Bond Girl, and I'm definitely here for that. So it's a beloved one to me. It's just not towards the top right now today. Sadly, this Lisa Eldridge gloss is ranking kind of low today. I just got this for a review. It's in the shade Go Lightly. It ended up being much pinker than I expected it to be, and the formula, it's nice, but as I've worn it over the days since I reviewed it first on camera, I've just realized that it's not distinguishing itself to me. Like there's the ones that I really love, the glosses that I am passionately longing to slather all over my face all the time. It's because of the formula. It's because the formula is doing something for me kind of on an emotional and tactile level. And I just don't feel that way about this. It's the tiny, tiny details, like the doe foot is a little bit hard and the formula is a little bit thick and the color is a little bit bright. Everything is just a little bit to the left or to the right of kind of like how I would wish for it to be. And you can also see that it does have that stiffness, that body, that kind of like jelly-like hold of its swatched shape. that these thicker formulas at the bottom have. And the ones that I tend to really love don't have that. These ones, these three, I prefer the formulas of. And so I don't know, it's above these because of the novelty factor, because it's new. I actually wore it yesterday. You know what I mean? I'm like reaching for it these days because I'm still testing it out, but it hasn't really distinguished itself enough to leap above any of these ones in the ranking. Next up, we have a gloss formula that I like quite a lot, but that I don't love. I expected to love it because of what everyone said, and I didn't end up loving it. And it's in a color that at first I thought I was not going to get along with at all, but that I have actually ended up liking. The formula and the color of this have kind of grown on me, but not enough for this one to be any higher in the ranking that it is. So this is the Tower 28 Milky Jelly Gloss, and it's in the shade Oat. This is like a dream color for me for a lip product, an absolute dream. But because of the pigment that it has, it's like a little bit more opaque, a little bit more pigmented than I was hoping it would be. It isn't as good for slathering all over for overlining as I was hoping that it would be. With this, I've learned that if I just apply a little bit, almost like a balm, and rub it into my lip skin, it can look really lovely that way. I enjoy wearing it that way, and it does feel nourishing and nice. I just don't end up reaching for it as much because I love to slather a gloss on. I love to have my lips literally be like dripping in gloss. And if I put this on to the point where my lips are dripping in it, it looks funny because the opacity and the milkiness kind of battle with my natural lip color. It doesn't look quite right when it's overlined. It's something that I have to apply more subtly than I prefer to apply a gloss. But I do really like the formula. As you can see, its partner, its little friend that's the same formula but a different color, is very, very high in the ranking. So it's really the combination of the formula with the other factors like the color that are placing this where it's placed, which is about halfway up the list. And it's ranking below the CBD Chill Out Lip Glaze from Flower Beauty. And I must say, I feel like this is the wheat separated from the chaff right here. There comes a moment in every ranked list of lip products where you cross over from the things that were in the bottom of the list, like the ones that I consider to be the bottoms, and the ones that are the tippity tops. So like these are the bottoms for the week. These are the ones that I'm like, oh yeah, wah, wah, wah. Like I like them enough to keep them. I am going to continue to use them. But this is the line. Like everything below this line is not really my favorite. And everything above this line, like these are my favorites. Like these are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you include the Aaron's Faces, these are my 8 favorite lip glosses. So I feel like this is the biggest leap we've had so far. Like the way I feel about this and the way I feel about this are like very, very, very different. So that's why I moved everything else off screen, because I feel like now we're just talking about my 8 favorite lip glosses. And because these are my 8 favorites, it becomes a little bit more difficult to rank them. I feel like on any given day, any one of these 8 could be at the top and be the one that I feel like wearing. This is just the order in which I feel like wearing them today, starting with the one I feel the most like wearing. The Flower Beauty Chill Out Lip Glaze, it might actually be my favorite lip gloss formula, like ever. I love how slick it is. Everyone says it's a dupe for the Tower 28 ones, but I don't think that it is. It has more of a slippy quality to it. It has more of just this very, very nourishing, almost balmy, but beefy quality to it. It's jelly-like, but without having that annoying, like, thickness. That's the best way that I can explain it. The reason that it's at the bottom is because of the color, and seeing how similar it is to Go Lightly from Lisa Eldridge makes me think that I actually might not end up keeping Go Lightly. I might give this Lisa Eldridge lip gloss away. I prefer this formula, and the color is so similar. Right above that in the ranking for today is this Hourglass Gloss. This is in the shade Cosmic Unreal. It says Cosmic Unreal. Why does it say Cosmic Unreal? Is it the Hourglass Unreal lip gloss in the shade Cosmic? Or is it in the shade Cosmic Unreal? Anyway, this is something that I'm currently testing for review, and I feel very attracted to it because it's so luxurious and fancy and new. I really like that it's sheer, even though it's got a pink undertone. It's much more sheer than these two super pinky ones, and it's very, very glittery. actually swatching it makes me feel like it should have been higher in the ranking. Swatching it makes me want to wear it today. Like, I think that I feel more excited about wearing this right now than any of the others. I'm putting it at the top. Since I swatched it, it leapt to the top. I think that I've been conceiving of it. I've had it for about a week. I've been testing it. I think that I've been conceiving of it as being very pink, and so I haven't been feeling like wearing it, but seeing it compared to my other pinky glosses that I wear all the time, this one that I wear all the time, and this one that I have been wearing a lot because I've been testing it, makes me realize that it's actually a more natural colored undertone for me, and I'm excited. I'm more excited than I was. I don't really like the smell though. It has this kind of minty, it's like a spearminty smell, and that's not something that I like in a gloss. It reminds me of like a dental hygiene product, and I'm not about that, but everything else about it I love. This is tough. We're getting into like my all-time favorite glosses. This one is really interesting too. It's in the shade Blissed Out, and you would think that I wouldn't like it because of how I've been besmirching pink. I'm over here talking about how I don't like pink glosses, but it shears out so beautifully, settles into the lips so beautifully. This is that formula from the drugstore that I said I feel like could be marketed as a lip oil. The finish is just absolutely stunning. Sometimes I've been with friends and I've like pulled this out of my purse and applied it, and then literally everyone in sight is like, what is that? What is that? It looks so good on your lips. There's just something about this gloss formula and how it sits on the lips. And this, even though it's pink, it looks really, really natural on me. It ends up just lighting up my lips, making them glowy. It's much, much easier to wear than it looks in the tube like it would be. And I find it much easier to wear than this kind of like brighter watermelon pink. It's more of a soft, sheer coral. And I think that the only reason that it ended up below these three is that it has some pink pigment to it. And these days I really feel like wearing sheer and neutral glosses, and that's what the next three are. This is very new to me. It's something from e.l.f. that I'm testing. It's just called the e.l.f. Lip Lacquer. And you can see that of all of these, this very, very, very pale champagne-y color is a true nude on me. Like, this is the color of my skin, and I really like that because my lips are kind of pigmented. So layering this over tones down the natural color of my lips with this reflective kind of silky champagne jelly, and it gives my lips a lighter color in addition to making them really shiny. And I really like that look. So I've been super impressed by this. It's kind of similar to the Maybelline, this one that I said I didn't like because of the dark color. It's kind of similar to it in that it's got this like thick jelly-like quality, and it probably would hold its shape in the same way if I had given it that super thick swatch. Yeah, it's got that almost goopy quality, but in a good way. It's really easy to apply and super easy to wear, and it's pretty long lasting. It's just a really good gloss, but it's different. It's definitely not like an oil leaning gloss or a balm leaning gloss. It's like a jelly leaning gloss. So far, I have been very, very pleased with it. Curiously, the Tower 28 one that's next in line, this is called the jelly gloss. Like they call it the jelly lip gloss, but I don't feel like this is very jelly-like. I feel like it's more liquidy. It has a more liquidy aspect. It might go on a little bit jelly-like, but it just completely settles onto the lip skin and becomes less like a layer than some of these other glosses. This is also obviously very easy to wear. It's just clear with gold glitter, really sheer. I love how it lights up the lips, and I love how shiny it is. And even though I initially didn't like the smell, I've gotten used to it over time. You can see that I've used up a lot of it. I've used up like, I think, more than half of it. But one really weird thing is going on with this. Look at the wand. The doe foot, which was initially just white or clear. I mean, it was just like a white doe foot with a clear paddle inside of it, has gone positively green. Something about the gold glitter has like caused the liquid to turn green on the paddle. Has this happened to anyone else? And also, if you have the clear gloss, the one that doesn't have glitter in it, has it happened to you? I'm curious to know. I would like to gather more data. Like, what's going on with the green paddle in this Tower 28 gloss? It's weird, but it hasn't deterred me from using it. I still really feel like wearing it, and I still think it looks beautiful. It's just weird. Next in the ranking, this is another one that is pretty new to me. I'm testing it for review. It's the Bare Minerals Gloss Balm. And I said I wasn't going to include any balms in here. And I do indeed have a couple of like balm style products that have a glossy finish. The Glossier Ultra Lip, for example, I didn't include because I feel like that's being billed as a hybrid formula. This is also being billed as a hybrid formula, but I really think of it as a lip gloss. And more importantly, it's so shiny and so sheer that it really looks like I'm wearing a lip gloss when I wear it. And it's totally clear. It's in the shade Clarity. I love wearing this. I'm really excited that I'm getting the chance to review it. I love wearing it because it is super shiny. Like, it looks incredible on. I don't know how, well, you can kind of see how it's like, it's holding its own in terms of shine compared to these glosses, which all have some form of glitter in them. And it doesn't have glitter and it's just totally sheer, but it's just got a very mirrored surface. So I love the fact that it has that quality visually and it has no real color in it, but it's a balm. Like, it's nourishing to the lips, or at least they are billing it that way. So I've actually been reaching for it a ton, possibly more than anything else since I got it. And for that reason, it ended up really, really, really high on the list. But not as high up as this Persona gloss. And that is simply because I love the effect of this. And I've been wearing it a lot lately. I was recently reminded of how special it is. And I've just been putting it on almost every day. And I've been wearing it in a lot of videos too. It has a beautiful, rich vanilla cake smell. The formula is perfectly balanced. It's like not too thin, not too thick, not too oily, not too jelly-like, melts into the skin, lasts for a long time. And there's just something about the way that this coral red color lights up the lips. It looks natural. It doesn't compete even with strong eye looks or strong cheek looks, but it has color. It distinguishes, it's like it defines the lips with color, but without being so pigmented that it's awkward or difficult. I just feel like everything that ended up these darker and more colorful glosses in the bottom, everything that ended them up in the bottom doesn't apply to this one. And it's just showing that it's not about the color itself, and it's also not about the formula itself. It's about the way that the color and the formula interact, and it's like the way that the color has bearing on the formula, or the way that the formula has bearing on the color. This right here is the Honey Gloss from Persona. It's not as though this looks way less pigmented, although I think that it does. I think it looks like the pigment is a little bit more sheer in this. It's like the pigment isn't gathering as much in the places where the gloss gathers, or it might be the exact undertones of this, and there might be something about them that suit my makeup looks better, or like suit the natural color of my lips better. This is just to say that it's the combination of color and formula and the overall look that I get from this that's putting it in the top. I really enjoy wearing it, and I really enjoy what it adds to my face when I wear it. I actually think that the Hourglass gloss, which is right here, I actually think it's going to end up playing kind of a similar role. The pink is much lighter though. Like, this reminds me of like a perfect neutral glossy nail polish. You know what I mean? Like a barely there, just making your nails look more healthy color of nail polish. And I think that it's going to end up, now that I've realized how similar it kind of is to this Persona one in formula and just in the presence of the pigment in it, I think I'm probably going to end up wearing it as often as I've been wearing this one. And the Aaron's Faces one is pretty similar to these ones that I've been raving about. I'll try to remember to link a video below in which I am wearing it so that you can see what it looks like on my face. Okay, so that's it. Those are all of my lip glosses ranked. I think what we've learned here is that I like a sheer gloss. To me, lip gloss is awesome because you can slather it all over and use it to overline and to make your lips look plumper and to nourish your lips. It's harder to do that the more opaque a gloss becomes. And for me, because I'm so pale, the deeper the color of the gloss. I clearly do enjoy a colorful gloss or a gloss that lights up the lips. It's just that the pigment has to be sheer enough, has to be light enough, like it is for these pinks and this coral down here, to work for me in the way that I like to use gloss. This has been incredibly enlightening for me because so far in my, relatively recent foray into this whole world of lip gloss, it's like I've known that I like some and I don't like others. And I know what I like, and what I do like, I really like, but I don't think that I had fully and completely articulated to myself that what I like is a sheer gloss, and that I love color and I love neutral color for glosses. It's just that it has to be very, very lightly pigmented, and that the more pigmented a gloss is, the less likely I am to get along with it. I just hadn't been able to say it in such direct terms. And now that I have done this, like I've swatched these in order from the ones I like the most to the ones I like the least. You'd believe me if I told you that I had just swatched them in order of opacity, right? Like, doesn't this look like I just swatched it in order of opacity? Yeah. So now that I've done this, I have more concrete knowledge about what I like, and that's going to lead me to make much better purchasing decisions in the future. And that's why I recommend doing this kind of thing. If you take the time to just get to know your makeup a little better, swatch around, take yourself to task about what you like and what you don't like, what you wear and what you don't wear, just do a little casual ranking, then you can learn things that will help you to make wiser decisions in the future. I feel like that definitely happened for me today. And I hope that some of this might even have gone so far as to help you make wiser decisions for yourself in the future. Maybe in watching me do it, you've realized that what you love is pigmented glosses and you don't like glosses that are very pale in color like this. I'd love to know about that in the comment section down below. I'd love to know where you stand on this spectrum from opacity to sheerness when it comes to gloss. And why are all of these considered lip glosses? Why do we not have, I don't know, more refinement of category? I feel like some of these are lipsticks and some of them are glosses, but they've all been marketed as glosses. The mysteries of the makeup market. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go wash these swatches off my arm. It's like the messiest thing. Lip gloss swatches are the most difficult thing to remove. I'm going to go wash them off my arm, and then I'm going to put lip gloss all over my lips because I really feel like doing that now. I feel like wearing all of these glosses today. So I'm going to have to just pick one. I think it's probably going to be the Hourglass one. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself today, because that'll make you the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.